You woken up the jungle?
There's a wasp.
Ooh, it's a friend. Welcome to Worthless Wisdom.
Don't move, let it sting you. Just know there's a gecko here.
Welcome to Worthless Wisdom in the Wild.
Yeah, today we are in a jungle. You can see behind us. I think we're just going homeless because we cannot sustain. So we have to film here because this is where we sleep. Yeah, it's kind of sad.
If you're wondering where we've been for the last few months, why so infrequent uploads, this explains it all.
Yeah, Wi-Fi here is not great. Yeah. But seriously, today we just want to do an update, kind of catch-up episode to inform, because you guys probably are worried sick because we are so important.
You probably noticed the frequency of videos just dropped,
Yeah. It was very consistent, then it dropped.
We promised the weekly episodes, then after that, yeah, once it stopped once, then after that, yeah.
Too bad you didn't sign a contract with us, so. But
we are not legally liable for any.
Yeah. The promise wasn't legally binding. Okay, I think in terms of content schedule, we'll still post. It's not gonna end, but we do want to slow things down, and we haven't decided how many episodes a month. But for now, we'll just post when we like. Yeah.
To give some explanation, the key constraint in the past with editing was my sort of gear technology, because my PC at home is falling apart, disintegrating itself. Yes. And then my laptops are not better, or I was using my sister's laptop for the last episode, and it was also equally as laggy. So the editing process not been fun. And I posted, we have how many episodes? 25, 26 episodes. And most of it was on a tight schedule, trying to get it out weekly, which wasn't the best for quality also, or my mental health. So the problem has been fixed. I know I've been complaining about the tech issue, and I realized, why have I adapted? I've gotten used to just not. I've just gotten used to not having tech, good tech. I don't even know what it's like to have functioning technology, good editing, a fun editing experience. It's not something I'm familiar with, which is a bad thing, and it's because I've been I'm more critical about what I want, and also it didn't come to me to just want to ask.
Especially now, technology is quite advanced. The biggest leverage is just to utilize whatever. It's not very expensive to get gear that can edit. How 10 years ago, film editors, they have to don't spend how much money just to edit that smoothly. But now it's more accessible. But for me, I used to play games on MacBooks and stuff with 50 frames. Until I start playing on smooth FPS, I wouldn't go back again. So I guess now you will never limit yourself in terms of the technology specifications. I
don't think I can allow myself to be constrained anymore by technology. At some point it became an excuse also. So it does. I would edit more, but it's not fun. Then I'll just not edit. Then once I stopped editing, then I got out of the habit, and I was just okay, I just stop. But now I have plans in the next few weeks. I'm going on a trip, and I'll just bring my new laptop. I got a new laptop too.
Where are you going?
New Zealand. No, New Zealand. I don't know how to say it.
Which hotel and which room are you staying at? New Zealand. Wow. This is the season of traveling, I guess. The year end. And I guess it's good that we are catching up at the end of the year also, because it's a good like a checkpoint to reflect. I mean, we won't go in depth because it's just like an update episode, but it's good for you guys just to like reflect back, like what did you accomplish and what did you not, and why is that so, like in 2024. Yeah, but briefly speaking, I think 2024 personally for me has been is the best year in my life thus far, in terms of growth, in terms of making connections, in terms of kind of finding my groove, like living a life that is more aligned with what I truly want. I self-discover a lot more than previously. Previously, I'm just handhold by the gurus, the self-improvement gurus of social media, and before that, it was just mindless living. Yeah. 2024 is good.
Sorry, we're sharing a mic for the first time. So, what have you been up to?
So I believe last episode I did talk about, or like 2 episodes ago, I did talk about interior design. I started a venture in interior design just to learn high ticket sales. And so far I am still undergoing, you can say it's training, but it's more like just trying to get the first client. Yeah, it's been about 3 months. And these 3 months, I would say I learned a lot about the industry, but in terms of sales, in terms of warming a prospect, I think that is something I wanted to do anyways. And what I've been doing in career development wise is mostly just maximizing my exposure. Yeah, I can sum it up by saying that, because a lot of these things, meeting new people as well, and regulating my emotions, and like let's say like things are not going smoothly or I'm stressed, I am finding a way to kind of cope and practice the personality trait of conscientious.
We've not spoken in too long already.
Yeah, can see we are very rusty. Yes,
Constantine.
Yes, Constantine. Conscientiousness. Okay, English is not my first language. Yeah, just like being more responsible of my own time, time blocking, everything. Try not to use being naturally like intuitive as my excuse. Like, it's good to schedule in the things that are important. Yeah, I think that is still very important. Yeah, what about you? What has been a major thing that you've been up to recently?
Major thing I've been up to. I mean, I guess I'll just start with learning, because I'm all about learning apparently. Learning wise, I've been going down this, I guess, I want to use the word train. What's it called? Shadow work. Doing a lot of shadow work, yes. So diving into myself, it took like Tobias's episode, so the last episode, for me to sort of realize I actually have a lot of things that I am, like, I'm not sure in my own beliefs, in a sense. I had like no concrete, like, do I believe in this, like, specifically? Like, what do I exactly believe in? I didn't have that sorted out at all. So I've been sorting that out. It's been going pretty well, actually. The best it's ever been, ever. Before that, I was already looking into, like, this book, what's it? King, Warrior, Magician, Lover. It covers, like, the immature and the masculine, the immature and the mature masculine archetypes. So, like, seeing how they've, like, manifested in my own life, then, like, dealing with myself, areas of myself that really were out of whack, like, yeah, developing myself in that, using those frameworks.
And the dark archetype as well.
And the what?
Like, when you go overboard, there's the dark.
Yeah, the bipolar shadows.
Yeah. It's basically the extreme ends of the mature archetype.
Yeah, so, realizing where I am healthy masculinity, where I am like immature maybe. Like before that, I was like at peak immature masculine, I think, which was like the hero archetype. And then I did the transition sort of thing to the mature. It's been a bunch of stuff. Then beyond that also, like one of the things that the book covers, sorry, I'm just nerding out, is like there are two main studies, which are like subatomic physics and depth psychology, that cover sort of hidden knowledge, like things that like basically everything is not as it seems. There's more to life than what like is visually just right in front of me, right? Yeah.
We block everything out because it doesn't serve our immediate, like, it doesn't threaten us, but the things are still there. The energy field, the subatomic kind of like change. I don't think you're nerding out because you recommended this book and I went to listen. I wouldn't say I picked up everything, but some of the main things that I kind of start seeing more and do some introspection in this new frame. A new point of reference is I realize I get into my magician archetype way too much, which is the archetype of knowledge, transformation, using words, using logic to kind of like solve things, like solve problems, I guess, like transform stuff. A bit like alchemy. I try to make something out of the life that I have, I guess. But that put me, when I do it too much, it becomes that I stop going to my other archetype, and like it's equally important to be a good lover, a good warrior. And when you are in, I realize that for me, when I'm in the magician archetype, it becomes easy to fall into ruts because it lacks the balanced kind of. It's just not balanced, living that way. Do you want to explain a bit on, like just briefly, what does warrior and lover means to you, like these two archetypes?
No. No, okay. So the idea is there are 4 main archetypes, and then the king is the one that orders like all the rest of them. So in order to have like good balance in your life, you need like that archetype, but it's usually the last archetype that gets developed, the last masculine archetype. And the front part of the book covers really most of men traditional, like even like with age doesn't necessarily mean like maturity. So yes, you still have to do the work. You have to like properly go figure out when you need the like mindfulness, awareness of when you are not accessing the like healthy variants of each archetype. And yeah, you need a king to like sort of order everything. If not, it's chaos. The lover may be more like artistic. It's more being in touch with your own senses, in being in the world of sensual desire, sensual pleasures, but like without shame. There's like, you can be sensitive to music, writing, all of which I am quite in tune with that. Yes. Then there's the magician, like the realm of technology, hidden knowledge, anything that's not immediately apparent. It is also like the one of like introspection. It's your ability to access inner knowledge, to like, and like detach from outer storms, everything, and yeah, access inner knowledge. Yes. Then what's the last one? King, warrior. David Goggins, stay hard.
Yeah, basically David
stay
Goggins.
hard. You need like clarity of mind, not overthinking, because thinking too much will lead you to inaction. And inaction will cause you to lose the battle. Yes. So what was I saying? I was saying, yeah, so depth psychology is one of the like areas that they mention inside the book under like the magician archetype. So I sort of I was already a nerd about like MBTI, psychology, that sort of thing. So I found out that actually like depth psychology is like basically the same thing as Jungian analytical psychology. And there's this channel on YouTube, CS Joseph. He covers, basically gives like free lectures on his YouTube channel that like cover the topics. And then he had like a whole series about like cognitive integration. So he has like concepts of like what 4 sides of the mind. You have 4 sides of your mind. So like if you're an introverted, like in your ego, then your subconscious is extroverted, and your unconscious, your shadow, is also an extrovert. That's why, there's no such thing as ambiversion. There's only like you can access like different sides of your mind at different times.
And
so
we are conditioned. Are we conditioned by like certain cues or like groups? Like let's say you're in a bigger group, or different cues kind of like make you access different kind of your personality.
I think a lot of it has to do with what you're focused on. So you can be like subconscious, like focused, or unconscious focused. So usually your subconscious focus, you're more happy. Then unconscious focus, you're more focused on like maturity, like you want to become wise. So like you have different paths you can choose, like based on like the situation, and your nurture like affects a lot. So if you were based on your childhood, based on your upbringing, like your subconscious may be more developed than your unconscious, like stuff like that. So the ideal is develop your ego, then develop your like 2 sides there, then your super ego, which is basically the like sort of your, how do you describe the super ego? It's like the part of like you that hates you or something. Like it wants to like, it looks at every other side of your mind and sort of like sees it all as being irresponsible. It is like the opposite of you, in a sense. Your ego, your super ego.
I can't fully recall, but I thought maybe I'm thinking of 𝐸, the ID, instead of super ego. Yeah, but I want to ask, through this like phase of self-discovery, of learning, has it been fun for you the past few months? And like why?
Fun. The definition of fun, subjective. Like there are obviously fun periods, then there are less fun periods. In order to properly develop, like proper development in a sense is doing it in a right order. So it's more ordered instead of just chaotic. You can do it in a chaotic way, which is like maybe short term more fun, but then long term worse, because you don't actually learn how to access like cognitive functions and all that properly through the right gateways. I just followed his like video. I mean, like for my type, like his video was like the 15th in the series. So I waited like 2 months for it. But I watched his first lecture, then I like gathered the information I needed. Then I tried to apply my own theories. I did a lot of like work with God, yes. And like through all this like, I guess learning, my sort of stance in terms of faith has like doubled down. My spiritual health is like growing, So God has brought me through all of it, yes. I can say that like very confidently, yes.
Speaking of faith, I am currently, like I think I mentioned that I am actively trying to learn about different religions more. And recently, you have invited me to a lot more of the prayer points and church services, and also like the events surrounding that. I think I've been learning a thing or two, been trying to save more videos to my watch later playlist. I do watch them, but it's about like once. I watch them like once every like 2 to 3 days. It's not like a daily thing, because not every day I can like click in the video and like absorb everything, if that makes sense. Yeah. But I think my journey, I am going to take it slow. I'm not going to rush anything. To me, there's no point in rushing. Like, because part of me always kind of wonder, I think for the shadow work part, like one of my weaknesses that I realize, like my shadow self, is that I like to compare or compete, or like in terms of status. And as I learn more about like self-improvement, psychology and stuff, even like spiritual and stuff, I realize an easy way for me to do this is go into a performative version of myself, to learn about all these things, to feel that I'm superior by knowing more stuff, or I know about manifestation you don't, or I kind of like can meditate longer than you, or like meditate better. And I don't want to do the same for religion because I realize it shouldn't be. I realize that life, to be interesting, is not supposed to be this rushed. Yeah. I'm not trying to accomplish anything in that sense. Yeah. It's just an area of interest. Then for me, the past 2 months, I haven't been doing a lot of shadow work in that sense, but I do have a lot of I do spend a lot of time like on commute listening to this YouTuber called Jordan Thornton that talks about healing. And he's a very psychology based guy. Talk about like a lot of youngin and recommend a lot of books. His kind of like niche is like his branding. He has a lot of books that he can like just name drop how many books on certain topics, like the mother or the father archetype or something. Yeah, then basically the lost child. It's like all these things. I realized for the past few months I've been prepping to go into he called it a hermit mode. So it's not like monk mode whereby you try to isolate yourself to work on like gymming or whatever, or meditation. It's more like you do all this, you still socialize, but it's harder for you to socialize because most of the time you'll be reading, learning. Oh, did it stop? Okay. Yeah. So hermit mode, it's a period of time whereby you are mostly doing introspection. So you are inward facing. You are looking at yourself. You are like reflecting on your past. You are like talking to the child version of you. You are like communicating, showing care, talking to the future version of you. These sort of things. I mean, I'm not super like informed in this topic, but next year I'll try. Like, I'm not setting the goal here for like accountability. I just say just to like show some context on like what I've been spending my time on also for the past few months. Yeah, so apart from learning, what has been like taking out a lot of your time, like since the last episode?
This has been learning.
Oh, it's really?
I mean, every moment is an opportunity to learn. So, what has been taking out my time?
I see you go out a lot more, right? You've been going out more with your friends, building like maintaining connections. Will you say outings?
Perhaps. I mean, I always go through like periods of intense isolation, then focusing on people. But now this period, yeah, I've been realizing like once I got myself in order, then it was realizing, I actually can like love the people around me like so much better. I can give them more of my attention because I have myself like more figured out. So I don't have to, do it at the expense of other people. I mean, we had 20 episodes or something. Anyway.
Don't need to change. You said something about don't need to change the people around you in order to love them. You can choose to love them first in your daily broadcast channel. Do you not? You said you have to choose to love the person regardless of like. I'm pretty sure you said something along the lines.
I think I quote it. I cannot remember.
Okay. Yeah, but that part personally, I see it in my own life. I can relate, whether or not you actually wrote it before, but it's just the big idea is that when like some of us, when we are like going through transformation and improvement, it's easier to see the flaws or project onto others and try to fix others because you just learn something new, you're excited about it, and you want to help other people around you before you have mastered it. I see that in myself when I first start. ask my friends to get on this self-improvement journey, what NoFap, meditation, before I even got into a routine or like part of my nature, I guess, my day-to-day, like no-brainer activities. I'm still struggling with like trying to learn these skills, and I will like try to do different tactics. Sometimes I will shame them. Sometimes I will like show off, or I just meditated for how long, tell them the trick and stuff. But recently I realized those things you kind of have to just do it yourself, and the people around you that you choose to love them regardless of who they are, once you build that connection and trust, and they see how your life has benefited from the kind of person you have become, they'll just emulate who you are instead of listening to what you say. It's kind of like parenting also. Like I think we talk about this idea of like kids, they don't... a smoker asking their kids not to smoke doesn't mean that they won't abuse. They won't fall into the addiction of substance abuse. You can see a lot when their parents are not setting a good example, but they try to verbally impart certain like rules, I guess, that they themselves are not following. It never goes well for the development of the child. Yeah.
I mean, it's a process of self-discovery. I think we did it. I mean, in the end, I think it being public was, I guess, part of the road for us, a season for us. And going forward, yeah. Now we are closer to finding ourselves, let's say. And all we can say is what you cannot shortcut the process. Like, yes. Yeah. There are no like shortcuts.
There are no shortcuts, and like the Jordan Peterson chaos, I didn't like. I think you mentioned this idea a lot of times, but I haven't read about any of his work until like recently. I realized chaos in this sense is like life. There'll be like it sounds cliche, but the ups and downs, and you just have to embrace every moment. The journey is not going to be the same as any other people outside of you. You just have to be in the moment and find yourself in your own way. You might find a lot of progress in a very short amount of time, then suddenly go into a long period of like, what's the word? Like stagnation, I guess. Yeah. Or it could be very like everyone is different. Basically, what I'm trying to say. For me, I think the past few months got me more time to reflect because of the nature of my job also. I have more control over my own time, more agency, and that has done a great job for my health, my mental health firstly, and it affects my physical health also. Like being able to sleep more consistently, I'm able to like go on walks, and I can choose to wake up early but not go into my office until like lunchtime if I want to work on other things first. Of course, that's not what the employers want to hear, but I think this is for the best. Like I know that if I take care of myself and if I take care of the important things and still work on the work itself and still find joy, still find it fun talking to people and doing what an interior designer would do, that's actually more beneficial in the long run. For you are currently at your last semester of poly and you are spending a lot of time learning. How has school been in relation?
School. I mean, part of it is just looking forward to the end because the end is now in sight. I know that I do not thrive in education, like no systems, let's say. So, looking forward to getting out, I guess. But like the connections I made have been fun. they have been like greater than I expected in a sense. Yeah, I've been looking at it more as like a place, an opportunity where I can give people time, attention, because that is really how, like, in a sense, like, love works, right? It's a place where I can love people. I'm challenged to love people, like challenged to juggle that and other projects I want to do. Yeah.
So to all of Josiah's poly classmates, you guys are challenging to love. That's the message right there.
Everyone's a challenge to love, in a sense.
Even ourselves.
Yes. Especially ourselves, actually.
Especially ourselves. Any more updates that we can think of? If not, then we can talk about one last thing before we end. Do you think it's important to have a plan to success? Like a step-by-step plan? Let's say like a 5-year plan. Do you think it's important, or is even it's probable to do that? So,
do you think do I think it's realistic?
Yeah, to be able to have a step-by-step plan for the next 5 years.
Okay, step-by-step plan. Everyone is, like you said, different. So, certain people really do function better if they have clear vision of like what the end destination is, then from there work backwards. Some people just let life happen to them, and that would function for them equally as well. There is no better or worse in terms of like approach to life. Like going to MBTI is really like, so there are 16 types, then there's like different genders, let's say, so like let's say times 2, so 32. Then after that there are different, like how far you are developed in like which, it's called like what, an octogram, I don't even know. So which you're developed, which you're focused on, so that can like, you multiply that and it goes up to like 256 whatever. Then just realizing that you are only experiencing a tiny little fraction of like what reality could be, like, cause there are so many different types of people with like different points of view. You will always have a blind spot in any sense.
Plans change.
But that's why if you do have a plan, then it is trying to get counsel. Like for me recently, it's been trying to get help, external help. Asking for help was a problem for me, like very big. Whether it's ego or just fear, a lot of stuff in that sense.
Even fear is ego, right?
Yeah, maybe. Fear is ego. I mean, like, yeah, pride, there's the arrogant side, then there's the shame side. So like, if you are feeling shameful, feeling insecure, that is also under pride, yes. So plans, you can plan, just plan for it to go out of hand also, like, it's part of life. Like, just give it some allowance,
Contingencies. Having contingencies, like, put leeways, like, have a plan to be able to have a plan that can adapt. There's a life, I guess. Like when things go wrong, or when there's a better opportunity, something that you really get drawn toward wholeheartedly, you have journal about it and you feel that it's a sign that you should change direction, just take it. Like, I think that should be in the plan. At least that is for me. For me, I believe in direction. Yeah, I guess that's the last message for people that kind of get anxious about not having a plan, or have a plan that they are currently not enjoying and following at all. Yeah, that's the last message. The camera has died, so
you always have a choice. So just exercise that choice carefully. Don't jump into decisions that are irreversible too quick. Good things will come to those who stay true. Yes, okay.
Goodbye.
This stop or what?